At 6 in the morning, my front door swung open like a guilty secret, and a woman in pearls and a white blazer marched right inside my house. She didn't knock, she didn't announce herself, she just whispered the word inspection as if that gave her divine right to be there. 2 steps later, a gallon of blue paint I had rigged above the door came crashing down, splattering her head to toe, dripping into her perfect blonde bob and across her embroidered blazer that screamed, HOA President. She squealed, slipped flailed like a windmill, and left a comet trail of cerulean footprints across my floor. And that, believe it or not, was the exact moment I realized just how far I'd been pushed by my own neighborhood's HOA president. My name's Evan Calder, 41 years old, proud owner of a modest little ranch house in Copper Hollow, a place that looks picture-perfect on the outside, where the lawns are immaculate and the smiles are as beige as the vinyl siding. I moved there hoping for peace and routine. Coffee at dawn, emails by noon, the occasional weekend barbecue. I didn't realize I'd be moving into the personal kingdom of a woman named Mara Yates, the self-proclaimed guardian of neighborhood character. Imagine a suburban queen bee with a clipboard in one hand, a keychain shaped like a crown in the other, and the audacity of a cop who thinks she writes the laws herself. That was Mara. It started small, the way these things always do. Letters in my mailbox tucked neatly between bills and junk ads. My wind chimes, apparently unapproved melody. My bird bath, encouraging avian loitering. My curtains. She claimed they were eggshell, but in her world, they had to be ecru. The citations piled up like takeout menus, absurd, nitpicky, insulting. I laughed them off at first. I figured maybe this was just a power trip, a bored woman with too much time and a love for bylaws. But then, things escalated. One morning I caught her in my backyard. No warning, no permission. She said she was confirming fence integrity, whatever the hell that means. Another day she rescued a package from my porch because it looked lonely. I found it opened contents inventoried with sticky notes in her loopy handwriting, tacky mugs, probably single. Twice, yes. Twice I came back from the grocery store to find her inside my living room. Inside. Measuring my rug with a tape measure from her purse, sniffing my hand soap, jotting things down like a forensic inspector. She even left a violation slip once because I had limes in a fruit bowl instead of lemons. Limes. I told her flat out knock on the door like a normal human being or don't come near my house again. She didn't flinch. Instead, she marched into the next HOA meeting and announced with a grin as wide as the cul-de-sac a brand new policy surprise interior assessments. She said it like she'd just invented democracy. My lawyer called it one-word trespass. I wanted to believe the law would make this stop. But when I confronted Mara, she just smirked and said, "The HOA covenant supersedes state law." That's not how laws work, but in her twisted little empire, it was gospel truth. From there, she went into overdrive. I'd wake up and see her kneeling on my lawn at 7 a.m. with an actual ruler measuring the height of my grass. She left notes sealed with her own fake HOA presidential stamp. Your microwave usage exceeds recommended community standards. Another one, your Wi-Fi name is too whimsical. My Wi-Fi was called Pretty Fly for a Wi-Fi. Apparently that was inconsistent with the neighborhood's professional atmosphere. She even complained about my cat, Mr. Whiskers, spending too much time in the window, an unpredictable visual element for passing residents. I wish I was making this up. And then came the day I'll never forget. I was in the shower, shampoo in my hair, when I heard footsteps in the hallway. My blood went cold. Wrapped in a towel, I stormed out to find her photographing my bookshelf, muttering about inappropriate literature placement. I called 911. The deputy showed up, tried not to laugh as he wrote it down, and basically told me, yeah, she can't do that. But she did. Over and over. I started to break. I'd come home with dread, not relief. I felt like a prisoner in my own house, every creak in the night making me wonder if she was creeping in again. My neighbors. They whispered behind curtains, but nobody wanted to cross her. The woman was untouchable. I thought about selling, about cutting my losses and leaving Copper Hollow forever. Was I overreacting? Was this just how HOAs worked? Was I the problem? Those thoughts ate at me. I felt powerless, humiliated. But that shower incident flipped a switch inside me. I was done being polite. If the law couldn't stop her, then maybe embarrassment would. I came up with something so low-tech it bordered on slapstick, but also so satisfying I couldn't resist a can of blue paint rigged above the door, tilted just enough to tip if someone opened it without the key. Not a booby trap, not dangerous, just messy, just humiliating. 2 mornings later I heard it, the quiet click of my front door, the slow creak, and then splash. The sound was glorious. I peeked around the corner just in time to see Mara covered head to toe in cerulean blue, slipping and shrieking, trying to claw her way back out. My security camera caught every second, her heels skidding, her pearls dripping, her clipboard clattering to the ground. She bolted, leaving a dripping blue trail down my front steps and across the sidewalk. By the time the cops arrived, half the neighborhood had gathered. People in slippers sipping coffee, pretending not to film on their phones while absolutely filming everything. Mrs. Chin from 2 doors down literally brought out popcorn. The officers followed the bright blue footprint straight to Mara's pristine white Lexus, now streaked like an art project. They found lockpicks in her soaked purse smeared with paint. Neighbors suddenly found their voices. Tom admitted she'd been caught snooping in his garage. The Johnsons said she once crawled through their dog door to leave a citation about their fragrant potpourri. Turns out everyone had a Mara story, they just needed to see her humiliated before speaking up. That evening, the HOA held an emergency meeting in the clubhouse. It smelled as always like celery and bad decisions. The deputies played the footage on the big screen, the one usually reserved for budget charts. Blue footprints led from my door straight to Mara's designer shoes, tucked guiltily under the table. She tried to cross her ankles to hide the stains, but it was too late. Her locksmith buddy, who had made her a so-called community master key, confessed she told him HOA rights were like fire department rights, legal to enter at any time. He looked like he wanted to crawl under the table as he admitted it. The board suspended her on the spot, but that was just the HOA's verdict. The county prosecutor went much further. She filed charges: criminal trespass, unlawful entry, even tampering with mail. The trial drew a packed courtroom. Every neighbor who could take off work showed up. Mara's lawyer looked exhausted before it even began. He tried to argue implied consent because of her HOA role. The judge, God bless her, actually laughed out loud in court. Then the footage rolled, Mara covered in blue paint running like a banshee out of my house. Jurors bit their lips to keep from laughing. Piece by piece, the prosecutor laid it all out. The break-ins, the fake master key, the lockpicks, the opened packages, the bizarre notes, the harassment. Witness after witness stepped up. Neighbors who had stayed silent before now lined up to tell their stories. Mara's smug confidence cracked, then collapsed. She sat there, paint stains still faintly visible on her pearl necklace, looking like the queen who had just lost her crown. The sentence: 2 years probation. A no-contact order, she has to stay 500 feet away from me and my property. And the kicker, 120 hours of community service. The judge made it very clear she would spend those hours repainting curb numbers around the county. In blue, the exact shade the court labeled Exhibit A. When the judge read it out loud, I swear there was a flicker of a smile on her face. Mara's jaw dropped. She actually leaned toward her lawyer and whispered, "Can a judge specify paint colors?" He just nodded, weary, defeated. And just like that, Mara Yates, the woman who thought she ruled over Copper Hollow, was stripped of her crown and sentenced to scrub the streets with the very color that exposed her. That's where my story ends. Not with a celebration, not with a barbecue or a champagne toast, but with a woman in pearls standing in court, realizing her kingdom was built on nothing but arrogance and lies. And if there's one lesson I pulled from it all, it's this: power only works if people let you believe in it.